Jeremiah says that the people are in the street saying peace, peace, but there is no peace. The question is, what do you do when you hear more about peace than you do experience peace? You have to be careful with people who paint a picture of peace when really it's exploitation. Point number one, you have to unsubscribe from fake peace. Anybody who knows me and has followed me for a number of years, you know that I am just fascinated by social media. I may not be the only person, but I'll be the one to admit that I looked at my phone a few weeks ago and it said I spent like 6 or 7 hours on social media. I don't suggest it for you, but that's my life. So social media has always been very important for me. And so I'll never forget in college when I was building my brand, I'll never forget somebody messaged me and said, hey Russ, man, I want to let you know that somebody created a page that looks like yours. Now, right, here's what you got to know about Instagram. There's people who will go around and find people who seem to have a decent following, and so they'll steal your pictures, they'll steal your bio, they'll steal your information, and they'll create another page and make it seem like it's yours. So somebody's like, Russ, I know you didn't create a second page. You need to figure out what happens. What do you want us to do? I said, do me a favor. I don't want you to get confused as to who the real Russell Pointer is. So the first thing I need you to do is to unsubscribe. It went over somebody's head. Watch this. You cannot follow and subscribe to the right thing until you first of all unplug from the wrong thing.
Right, man. Right.
And so what I need you to know about peace is you'll never be able to live and experience real peace until you first of all get rid of the fake peace that you may have been introduced to. I can vividly remember being places where they would tell me that I need to be quiet for peace sake. Right? They told me that I'm disturbing the peace if I speak too much, and so don't speak on that, just speak on this. They were controlling my voice, and so people will say, no, I need you to be quiet for peace sake, when really what they're trying to say is, I need you to be quiet for my sake. Yeah. And you've got to get to the point where you can unsubscribe from any type of Pax Romana and say, no, I know that you want some peace, but I've got to have some peace when I go to sleep at night too. And I'm not going to subscribe to your bad policy or to your bad lifestyle to make you feel more comfortable, and I can't get any sleep at night. I thought that peace was keeping everybody happy. A lot of times to have peace is not you keeping people happy, because sometimes to keep people happy, you're just sweeping problems under the rug. Right? And so what I would do to try to keep people happy is I would find the nicest way to say things, and then people wouldn't even really get my message because of how nice I was trying to be, because I was trying not to flat out say no. And so the problem was I kept sweeping things under the rug, and eventually I ended up tripping over what I kicked under the rug. And so what you've got to know about peace is not silence and being complicit to something that is not healthy. People will tell you that if you want to have peace, you've got to leave part of your identity behind you in order to have it. Right? I disturb the peace in my class all the time. Right? What they call to be peace. Because one thing about me, if you know me, I'm never going to leave my race at the door to make somebody else more happy. It just doesn't happen. If I can't be unapologetically myself, then there is no peace. That's why I like the Hebrew word for peace is shalom. Somebody talk back and say shalom. Shalom has two meanings. Shalom means, number one, peace in the sense of no interruption, no violence. But the second part of shalom is, not only does it mean peace, but it means wholeness. So watch this. You can never be at peace in a space where you're not allowed to be whole. I can never be at peace in a relationship with somebody that will not allow me to fully enter as myself into it.
Right.
Because in order to make you happy, I've got to suppress a piece of myself. And if anybody's ever had to go through a season where you had to find yourself, then you can help me testify that that's too big of a price to pay. No, after how long I had to go through to try to figure out who I am and what I like, no, I'm not suppressing myself for you. As a matter of fact, the best peace for people that don't want you to be yourself is sometimes to just create some distance and leave them alone. I believe that the Bible is intentional with what it says. And so if it says peacemaker, then I believe that it was intentionally not trying to say peacekeeper. Look at these letters back here. You got P-E-A-C-E. What game is this? Anybody know? Scrabble. Here's what I know about Scrabble. You don't just accidentally end up with the letters the way that they are. Right? Has anybody ever gotten a Scrabble hand and all of a sudden you sound the word peace and those were the only five letters you had? That's not how it works. You end up with random letters like J, H, I am, and here you are trying to figure out how you can twist words together to try to get it to work. What I like about this graphic is it suggests that if you are going to have peace, you've got to make it.
Amen.
Right? If you're going to have peace in the game Scrabble, you've got to make it with the letters. And I want to suggest that if you're going to have peace in your life, it's not going to come unless you make up your mind that I'm going to make peace. Because the problem is, if you're not putting your peace together and you're not guarding it, you can't be at peace when somebody takes one of those letters away. It no longer says peace. You can make the word P, but it's not peace. You can make the word pace, but it's not peace. And so for you to be at peace, you've got to create an environment where you are no longer being pulled in other directions in which your peace can be disturbed. Because you cannot experience peace as long as these letters and parts of you are being pulled in multiple directions. And so Jesus says, if you are going to experience peace, it's got to be something that you make. I believe in praying about it, and I believe that God is the one that empowers us to be able to do it. But what I want us to know as a church and as a community is, if you're going to experience peace, it's not going to come by accident.
Right.
It's going to be because you valued it, and we'll talk about this in one of our next series. It's going to be because you prioritized it. Because once you find peace, you don't give it away that easily.